The grimy streets of South Tel Aviv form the city's epicenter for lusty crime, a haven for illegal aliens and a dangerous place where drugs drive the streets and streetwalkers solicit on virtually every corner. Prostitutes are known to prowl the streets at night, but few care where they end up by day. Dave Fiquet does care. An American, Fiquet has set up a sanctuary where these women of the night can rest, find a meal, clothing, and most importantly, a respite from the vicious cycle of sex, drugs, and abuse.
I compare this work to taming a cat. You ever tamed a cat? Right? How do you tame a cat? You go out to where the cat's at, and then you put the plate of food down and you back away and you give a certain safety distance and the cats will come and eat. But then the day will come that you put the food down and the cats are there. See, every day that they trust you more. Okay, now, if you see a cat in your garden, you go, oh, kitty, kitty. You see a prostitute in your garden with a needle in her arm and a client between her legs, you're calling the cops.
The prostitutes are Israeli and foreign women whose lives fell apart. Some are homeless. All of them spend nights walking the streets and servicing clients, but when the sun rises, had no place to go.
The women that I deal with, all of them are going through about 2,000 shekels a day in drugs. They're sleeping with 30 or more clients a day, and they're getting raped, and they're getting beaten, and they're getting spit on, and they get treated like garbage.
The Media Line was offered a rare glimpse of a day into the lives of some of these women of the night. Called the Door of Hope, it's where they can find a bed to sleep, a kitchen for nourishment, fresh clothes, and even a makeup room. It may not seem like a lot, but to these women, it can be just what it takes to survive this period and build new lives away from drugs and sex for sale. Yelena was 7 months pregnant when she came to Israel from Kazakhstan. When her husband abandoned her and took the children, Yelena resorted to drugs. I was left without children. I didn't want to live. I had nothing to live for. I left my apartment. I left everything. I wanted to die. I don't come every day, but I come to remember where I came from. I take some help and also visit the people who helped me. They prayed for me. The minute I came down here, I'd feel secure. Yelena heard about the Door of Hope from girls on the street. There, she cleaned up her act. Now she helps others to shake the habit and start a new life.
I used heavy drugs, heroin and opium, more than 15 years. I lived on the streets for 10 years, without a house or a family or children. Without myself. I lost everything. I've been clean for 2.5 years. 6 years ago I met Dave for the first time. I was living on the streets without a shower, food, clothes, or a home. I would sell my body to buy drugs. There was no place like this yet. He would let us into his home to shower and change clothes.
Do you see a difference between today and 5 years ago?
I see a change in myself, of course. I keep myself, my house. Today I'm responsible for my life. With my own power I go to work in the morning. Today I don't humiliate myself for 50 shekels. I earn them with dignity, with my own hands.
But not all of the women who found the Door of Hope have survived.
And here you see pictures of girls that didn't make it. This girl was killed by her client. This girl was beaten to death by her roommate. She died of tuberculosis. She died of tuberculosis.
Alexandra, once a nurse at Israel's prestigious Rambam Hospital, found herself on the streets following her divorce. She's been on drugs and on the street for 6 years.
It's always dangerous. I try to work and use drug properly, but there is always danger. I make about 500 to 600 shekels a day. I buy heroin, cocaine, everything.
Experts believe that these dilapidated blocks will soon become home to the next wave of expensive new buildings. But for now, clients from all walks of life come to the south side of town to patronize these women. Who are these clients?
40% of our traffic through here is religious men, okay? Then there's refugees, then there's soldiers, then there's diamond jewelers. I mean, you know, I've seen guys drive through here with Mercedes. But to put it all quite simply, it's men that are as addicted to sex as these girls are to drugs.
A former drug addict who came from a junkie family and whose own mother committed suicide, Dave says he became an angel to the prostitutes after he found God. Just near the old bus station, the streets of South Tel Aviv are filled with junkies and prostitutes and refugees. Not a very pretty place. Many women are streetwalkers and have nowhere to go. But there are organizations like Teen Challenge and Door of Hope that are making a difference for some of these women. Now, teamed up with the Teen Challenge organization, efforts are underway to open the Door of Hope 24/7. I asked Jimmy LaRose of Teen Challenge why they're doing what many believe is a job for the government.
People don't know that there's human trafficking, that there's refugees, that there's prostitution, and that prostitution is legal in the land of Israel. As a former addict, I did find myself walking down the street just like these individuals. I was homeless. When I came to that point personally, where I was really willing to do whatever it takes, it was an organization like Teen Challenge, it was an organization like Door of Hope that gave me those first right steps in order to get well.
The images are shocking, the reality challenging. These women who walk the streets are also walking a thin line between life and death. From Tel Aviv, this is Felice Fritzen reporting for the Media Line.